golden onion rings. Deep fried pork chop. Okay. I don't know why people have to make all these fancy batters for deep frying with this seasoning or that seasoning and baking soda, baking powder. All you need is flour, salt, and beer. Hello campers. If you asked me what my favorite fast food was, I would tell you pork chop sandwich. That's right, I would rather have that than a hamburger any day. Since I'm gonna have hot oil and batter, I might as well have onion rings and french fries too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Dutch oven to be for the fryer. I'm gonna do it on my little stove because I wanna be sure I can regulate the heat quite accurately. We gotta start prepping some things to do this meal with. When I have a pork chop sandwich, all I like on it is mustard and onion, raw onion. This is a sweet onion. And that's all I like on my pork chop sandwich. I don't normally like mustard that well, but I absolutely love it on a pork chop sandwich. Now this is a deep fried pork chop with beer batter. And luckily I have everything I need for that. Now, I don't mind the skin on my french fries, so I'm not gonna peel it. If you don't like the skin, peel your own. Put those in a bowl too, with a lid so they don't dry out. Next thing we need to do is prep our pork medallions. Okay, so I've got a couple thin cut pork medallions right here, but if you want to make a pork chop sandwich, you're going to need to do a little work to it, otherwise it's going to be too hard to bite through and take off. So what I do is I prep it a little bit by tenderizing it, and I'll show you how I do that here. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our pork medallions. Got 2 of them here. First thing I'm going to do is take my knife and start making some cuts in it. Just like that. Okay, that looks pretty good there. She's well done there. Might trim off some of this fat. Alright, we're almost there. Last thing we want to do, I don't know how many of you have a mallet with you when you're out camping, but I happen to. Now, we're going to have to still get our beer batter ready and get the oil ready. So we'll just put these back on the ice for a little bit until we get everything else ready. So the last thing we need to prep before we can get started is our beer batter. And what we'll do is we'll get our tin cup. I'm gonna get, that's about 3/4 of a cup. About a cup. Now, I don't need all of that for just the batter. Part of it is going to be for dry dusting the medallions and the onion rings before they go in the batter so that it sticks better. But it's the same seasoning for both. I'm going to need some salt in there. And just a little bit of pepper. And I'm really not going to put much else. I'm not going to put anything else in there. So So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to take half of it over here to do my dry dusting. And the other half is going to get the beer mixed in for the batter. Okay, so we'll put this one aside, get some beer. The oil's almost up to temp. We want it about 330 to 350. Just so happens I have some beer right here. Measure that in. Close, not quite there. Look, see here. There, you kind of want it about, see how it can, about like that. Like a thin pancake batter. Okay, so the oil has come down to 350 right now. I'm gonna crank this back on just on low because when I put food in there it's gonna start cooling off. First thing I'm gonna cook is some French fries, and then I got a warmer to keep them in. So oil's ready. Drop a few of these in there, real careful. Good for the first batch. I'm going to use, I don't have a strainer spoon, but I've got tongs, so that's what I'm going to use. We'll let these go. While those cook a minute, I'm going to take one of those pork medallions and dredge it in the flour. Now, so I don't get batter all over my fingers, I'm going to use a fork when I go to do the breading on it. Just for recording time's sake, I'm probably going to take them out now. They're good enough. If it was for me, for guests, I'd probably cook them a little longer, but they're extremely close or done. I'll put those in my little pan that I'm going to keep things warm with. Yeah, I'll give you a close-up view of this. Here, check that out. Nice and golden. Okay, cover that up. Check my oil temp before I do my pork chop. 330. I want to be 330, 350. Okay, so take this medallion here, shake the flour off. I'm gonna dip it in my beer batter, make sure it gets all of it. You'll be surprised it doesn't always stick right at first. Drain the excess off. Okay, and ease it into the pan. I've only got like a little over an inch of oil in here. That's all you really need. And we'll let that cook up. While that's cooking up, I'm gonna make me some onion rings. Just separate some rings, get them in the flour. This extra one. Drop them in the batter. They can just sit there until I get ready. See if we're getting how we're doing here. Still not browned up. At this point, I could drop in a couple onion rings. Alright, like that. Yeah. We are done. Got some golden onion rings. And here comes our deep fried pork chop. Okay. We'll put a little dusting of salt on there. Oh. God, this is good. Oh, can't forget the onion rings. Man, I don't know why people have to make all these fancy batters for deep frying with this seasoning or that seasoning and baking soda, baking powder. All you need is flour, salt, and beer. And you saw how well I measured it out, right? So, anyway, I'm gonna enjoy this, clean up, and go enjoy nature. See you later.